I know the answer to this question, but I want to ask it anyways. How are you?
I'm fine.
No.
Purely peachy.
So I have something I want to talk about specifically in regards to the podcast.
Okay.
And a specific episode, but
we should say first, though, we should say why the last 2 weeks we haven't had a podcast.
right. And so I wanted to get into that. I wanted to say this episode is, we're going to call it Technical Difficulties.
Yes.
And we're just going to talk about where we've been the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And also address the true crime episode,
Okay.
and specifically my behavior on that episode.
Okay.
And then there's a couple of other like housekeeping, minor note things that we want to talk about.
Okay.
It's probably not going to be a super long episode, but
Okay.
hopefully it'll be a decent listen, and you can hear me learn and grow a little bit.
There you go.
There you go. There you go.
There you go.
So why have we been gone for the last 2 weeks?
Because we recorded 2 weeks ago and we had it all ready to go and stuff. And we put it on the thumb drive and we handed off to our editor. And later on, our editor comes downstairs and he goes, I don't think there's going to be a podcast for next week. And I go, what do you mean? And he goes, come over here. And he plays me part of it. And it's sick techno beats. That's really what came out and I'm like, what's this?
Yeah, it
And he
sounded
goes,
like
that's what happened. I'm
it sounded like nothing recorded.
No.
That episode would have been like almost an hour and a half long.
So the funny part, if you want to say it's funny, but it's sad funny, is that we talked to each other for an hour and a half and we didn't know what was happening. So now we have an hour and a half recorded of just it's just silly.
Yeah, I think
It's
the reason
sad.
that we talked that long and not realizing is because it wasn't an issue with the microphones, because the monitor was working fine.
We didn't know at the time what the hell the issue was.
Well, we still don't actually know what the issue was. It's
I know what it was.
fixed now, but when we were recording, it was coming through the headphones, the monitor, so the microphones were working.
Yeah.
And the headphones were working, but it wasn't recording our audio for some reason through the machine that we use. So we lost that whole episode. That's lost episode number 2.
Yeah. And day 1, I was so mad. I was so mad.
Yeah.
And then
Well, we had a lot of good stuff on that episode. I feel like we had a good chat.
yeah. And then after a few days, you started problem solving what it could be and what's happening. And then you got really mad. And then we just kind of like put it off because we were so mad. And then I was like this far away from saying, did you turn it off and turn it back on again? Because that's how I solve all IT problems, all tech problems. I go, okay, first, before I call in reinforcements, let me turn it all the way off or unplug it,
Right.
and then turn it all the way back on.
Well, I want to back up a little bit. You said I got really mad, but
Well,
it wasn't like
No, yeah, but
dad looking for the wrong tool or hit my thumb. It wasn't that kind of mad. I was just like, why is it?
frustrated. Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, why is this doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I was really, really mad.
I mean, we've only been doing this for 2 years, and we've only used the equipment 54 times.
Right. So it should be fine.
Right. And I was like, I get planned obsolescence, but if every 54 episodes we have to buy new mics and a new audio input,
Just seems
this is not going to be something sustainable and long term, right?
Exactly.
That's what I was
exactly.
irritated about. So I borrowed Liam's Focusrite, which is what I assumed was causing the issue. Because I knew it wasn't the mics, because the mics worked directly. They just wouldn't. We couldn't record, but we record through the Focusrite into the MacBook.
Yeah.
So I borrowed Liam's, and it did the exact same thing. And I was like, well, what the heck? Like,
The odds of that is
the odds
silly.
of both Focusrites having the exact same issue.
Yeah.
And his is used way less than ours.
Yeah.
Right. And then I tried both microphones, and both microphones were doing the same thing on both things.
Yeah.
the same thing, right? So I'm like, well, it can't be the Focusrite because there's no way. It can't be the microphones. There's no way they'd both go out at the same time.
Right.
No way all three would go out at the same time. So it has to be the laptop. And so I started searching for software issues because I want to say up front, when I am debugging an IT issue for anyone else, my first thing is, did you turn it off and on again? That's always my first question.
Yeah.
But when I'm debugging for myself, I get into this trap of like, it can't be that simple.
Right.
I must go to exhaust all the other things first. So I'm going through all the software. I tried the recording with all this equipment on 3 different apps. None of those software did anything except for the exact same thing. Beep, boop, beep, boop.
Yeah.
Although QuickTime just didn't record anything.
Oh.
At all. Like it just was blank. But I would record for 30 seconds and then QuickTime would say it was 30 minutes. So I knew something was kind of off.
Yeah.
And then I noticed that my Mac had an software update. I was like,
Right.
I'll just update the software on a lark. I'll update the software. Maybe there was something with the last version that,
Yeah.
because there was an update in between episodes that we recorded. And so I was like, maybe I'll just update it and see what happens. I update it. I test. After the update's finished, I test. It works. It's fixed. There's no problem anymore. But what else happened when I updated the software?
Exactly. What do computers do
When you
when
update
you
them,
update?
they turn off and on again. So I don't know if it was the software update or if it was I just needed to restart.
Yeah.
In the future, if it happens again, hopefully it won't. We'll be better about testing the audio first.
Yeah.
But in the future, we'll just restart the computer first. That'll be the first thing we do. Otherwise, we wouldn't have missed the 2 weeks. We would have immediately re-recorded and then recorded last week. But I was just, I've got all kinds of other stuff going on. If this was my full-time job, it wouldn't have taken 2 weeks. But
Right.
I was like, I cannot figure this out for the life of me because I was doing all of the stuff other than the simplest,
Yeah.
most obvious choice.
Yeah. I'm going to make a t-shirt or a sign or something. Turn it off and turn it back on again.
I think you can get t-shirts from like the IT crowd that say that because
okay.
that was
their
Roy's
thing.
line,
Yeah. Every call that they'd get in the office, he'd go, "Did you turn it off and turn it back on again?" That was like the first thing.
Well, that's a joke in IT, but that's really a thing.
Usually that solves 90%.
Yeah, it solves most of your issues. Yeah.
You have 10% of real technical issues.
Yep.
But 90% of the time, like with humans, sometimes it's better to just put it to sleep and then reboot it back up. And then it's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine again.
Yeah, sometimes you just need a reset, right?
Yeah.
So that was the
That was
the reason for our absence.
we should have said something sooner, but we were just trying to
we did.
Damn it,
we
man.
couldn't record something.
Right, no, but I'm saying we should have made a graphic or something.
yeah.
But it was just so infuriating to think about.
Yeah.
I was so mad.
Yeah. It was irritating, and I thought, okay, that's it. This is how the podcast ends. It's just me getting so frustrated with equipment that I'm like, I'm never buying any more of this stuff. Because you know how I get, if something does me wrong, I'm like, I'm never purchasing.
Right.
I'm
right.
never going to Cracker Barrel ever again. I probably won't because we're vegan, but
Yeah, but exactly.
I like to. I don't say that to the people though.
No, but
I never say it directly to the people working places.
You
I
make
go,
a stance and then you go. It's like me with grocery pickup. I go, I'm never going to Kroger ever again.
Yeah.
And every time they send me coupons in the mail, even in the middle of the driveway, I yell at the coupons. I'm like, not again, not ever again. And I just throw them in the recycling. I don't even look at them anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's such a trap anyways.
Yeah.
But every time I get lured in by coupons, I get messed around with, or the order's late, and I get the human part of it. It's frustrating, but I get it. But every time I go, no, I swore off Kroger, never again.
Well, I just recently swore off, what was it, Office Max or something?
Yeah, Office
Because they sent us
Depot,
half
yeah.
a desk, and then it was so hard to get them to just refund.
And they never came and picked
They
it back
never
up.
came and picked up the half a desk.
Half a desk.
But I was like, I'm never buying from them again. I didn't say that to them.
No.
I'm always very nice to the people
Right.
on the phone or in
Because
person.
it's the human.
Because it's not
part of
their
it.
fault most of the time, the people you're interacting with.
Right.
But then I'll come home and I'll be like, Never again.
But you called support and you go, hello, I didn't get any legs to go with this desk. And then they go, oh, that's a whatever problem. And they transfer you.
Yeah.
And then you tell them, hello, I didn't get any legs with my desk. And they go, oh, that's the other person's problem. So you get transferred back. And then you do that like 4 times. And you're like,
Yeah.
just never mind. Just never mind at all.
I was in
Keep the half a desk.
I was in call redirect hell for like a half an hour.
Oh, infuriating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's on the do list. It's Kroger and iTunes and Office Depot. That's we never again.
iTunes. Oh yeah, you hate
I
iTunes.
do not like iTunes. It
Well,
is the
iTunes-
worst piece of whatever.
Well, that's the good news is it doesn't actually technically exist anymore.
Or Apple Music or whatever the fuck it is. It's all shit. If you ask me.
Yeah.
If you want to buy music, you go to a different app. Then
Yeah.
if you want to play music or search for music,
It's
and then you have to
convoluted,
add
yeah.
to a playlist through a different, whatever.
Yeah, it feels
I
convoluted.
finally figured it out, but you know what? I shouldn't have had to. It should have just been very easy. And every time I don't use it for a while, then I go, I don't remember how to fucking do this.
Yeah,
So you have to relearn it over and over again.
yeah. Okay.
Problematic, to
is
say the
problematic.
least.
The other thing that I want to talk about before we get into the true crime episode, I mentioned on a previous episode, I can't remember the exact episode it was now. I mentioned that we didn't have very many listeners and that people weren't listening and that we had 0
Oh
listeners
yeah,
on
it was
Spotify.
the reboot episode. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then we had 0 listeners on Spotify.
Yeah.
And so then somebody commented and said, I listen on Spotify. And I was like, huh? And so I went back and I checked because I hadn't checked in a while. Mm-hmm. And we have 15 unique listeners on Spotify.
That's
and I know,
surprising.
yeah, I know that's not a big deal for a lot of podcasts, but for us, that's
I don't
feels
even know
pretty
15
good.
people.
And then on YouTube we have 14.
Now they want to listen to me? What's happening?
And then on YouTube, we have 14 unique. I don't know if there's overlap because there's no way for those apps to talk to each other.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's just 15 people.
Or if it's 29 different people.
right.
I don't even know 29 people.
I don't. I don't.
know.
I mean, maybe I do.
29 people like me or you or us. That's weird.
I don't know that that's the truth.
That's
All I know is
surprising.
that on YouTube, we have 14 listeners, and on Spotify, we have 15. I can't check Apple,
Yeah.
but I assume we have some on there now.
Yeah.
And then our website gets about 10, 11 people listening on there.
Wow.
And I don't know, like, it could be that it's all the same people just
Yeah.
listening on every place, but I don't know why.
Right.
Usually somebody, what I've found in my
Is they like
work
something.
is somebody finds an app they like and they just do all their
Yeah.
XYZ on that app, right?
Yeah.
All my podcasts are through Spotify.
Right.
So I just listen through there. Or I only go to YouTube. Like me personally, I'm a YouTube person.
Mm-hmm.
So I listen to podcasts on YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't go to Spotify or Apple.
Yeah. I go to Apple.
And you go
That's
to
where I
Apple,
go.
right? So
Yeah.
and you don't go listen on the website or go somewhere else, right?
No,
You just listen
right.
on Apple. So I think it's safe to assume that they're individual,
Different
unique
people.
users, different users across those platforms.
Wow.
But I don't have any way to prove that.
So we're basically
could-
cool now.
I guess I could cross-reference IPs, but I can't see IPs on Spotify, only on YouTube and our site. But it doesn't matter, right?
So we're cool?
I don't know if we're
Are
cool.
we in right now? So
But I just wanted to correct that I said that we had no listeners and then I thought we had lost our
Go
one
Spotify.
commenter too.
yeah.
But he's come back. He's come back and
Well,
commented.
well, the funny joke is that we tried to search for our own selves on Spotify and we cannot find ourselves.
no,
So
you can't.
Every time I post that we have a new episode, I go, we're somewhere on Spotify
Yeah.
because I can't find it.
You have to have a direct link to Spotify, which we have on our website.
I see.
So people can go to our website, click that link, and it'll take them directly to us on Spotify, and then they can listen on Spotify. But if you search for Lou and Me podcast on Spotify, it doesn't come up, which I don't understand because there isn't another podcast called that or anything close to it.
Right.
But it brings back a whole bunch of L
Yeah.
listed stuff.
Well,
None
even
of it us.
even on, here's something else I don't understand is even on Apple Podcasts, it's still using our old graphic, our old image from before the new image. And so it's very frustrating also. I don't understand why that's the thing.
It's likely just a caching issue. The next time they go update or refresh the cache, you know what a cache is, right? The next time they update or refresh that, it'll pull the new image. But I don't know what that schedule looks like or when they do it. And I can't find anything online on how to force them to do it for our podcast. But the image has been replaced on our end. And the RSS feed has been updated. It's super cute
new one. Yeah. I like it.
Which you can see it on Spotify or on our website, or YouTube. So anyways.
Cool. All right. So that's that.
That's that. What was, you had something that you wanted to talk about, technical difficulties.
Oh, I don't know. I talked about it for an hour and a half a couple of weeks ago, but I won't go into detail, but I got real low for a minute, and then you got real low for a minute, but about a different thing. And so it was kind of like, we just kind of like looked at each other and were like, yep, that's this week. Yeah. And then, so it prompted me to start like, I spiraled for a little bit and I started working on my will and like putting together letters and stuff. And I don't know why, but it was kind of a hardcore minute.
Yeah.
Why did you get low? Do you want to talk about that?
I don't remember.
Because you're shedding some layers and you're kind of nervous about that and the way it looks.
Yeah, no, I'm struggling a little bit mentally with coming to terms with not being enormous, right? And as I get smaller and smaller, 116 down from the hospital event. But as I get smaller, what I'm noticing is that a lot of my defense mechanisms no longer exist. And so I don't know how to defend myself in certain situations anymore.
Yeah.
I can't go, look at the big fat animal or something, because that's not true anymore.
Which I have always hated.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, most of those things are just masking.
But now
pain.
it feels uncomfortable.
I feel more opened up.
Which can be uncomfortable and freeing at the same time.
Right. It's both.
Yeah.
So it's like depressing, but it's also uplifting, but it's also just complicated. It's like relationship status with myself, complicated.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's strange. And it didn't hit me until like, I think 2 weeks ago that I was like, that's what was happening.
Yeah.
I just felt low and I was like, I just don't feel good. And then I realized, it's because I'm becoming somebody I don't know.
Yeah. And not in a bad way.
No.
Just like,
I haven't met this person.
Right. This
is just a different person.
Yes.
And I don't know them.
Yes. But that's okay.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that it's a bad
thing.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's a bad thing at all.
But it can feel scary. So your brain might interpret it as a bad thing. Yeah. And then that's why sometimes people, sabotage themselves and they go back because it's less uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So I applaud you for being at least brave enough to recognize.
Well, I'm trying. I'm trying to, stay on the line. So
yeah. Anyways, so that was a bit of a shaky week, and then we had the downfall of the technical difficulty thing, and then it was just like, that's why it was infuriating, because the fact that we had a topic to talk about, we had some substance, right? Yeah. And then we talked for an hour and a half, and then that was the result of it. It was just, okay, F you to all technical equipment.
Yeah.
But it's okay. Learning to introducing yourself to yourself after all this time and all these years I know it can be scary because I'm doing my own healing and it is frightening. It's very scary because sometimes I'll have a moment with the kids where the older part of me would react differently than the way I do now.
Yeah.
And I can see it in the kids' eyes sometimes when they go, "Oh, is she gonna yell, right? Or is she gonna be pissed at me now?"
Yeah.
But I am trying to have a different understanding of and it's also, there's a forgiveness factor, right? Do you feel that too? That you know, that situation that you created a long time ago, you have to forgive that because you didn't know any better and or feel any better to do so.
Yeah, I mean, that is part of it, is right. It's just forgiving myself for even having to be in this situation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I did it to myself.
Yeah.
You know, I used to have all kinds of jokes when I was at peak weight. You know, I worked at a restaurant. I was like 452, I think, around that time, though I wasn't aware of it yet. It's when we were still in Cottonwood, but it was after Liam was born. And I know, because looking back at the pictures, I know I was,
Yeah.
right? Because we found out how much I was weighed shortly after we moved to Idaho. Mm-hmm. But I was big. I was really big. And I used to say, like, I'd make myself food on shift, and somebody would say, "Oh man, that looks crazy, like a crazy sandwich," and I'd be like, "Yeah, I call it a slow suicide," right? Like just making,
Boy.
you know, just fucking disgusting jokes about myself, right?
Right.
Just to kind of get them off of the look at the fat guy eating. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I beat myself up a little bit about how I treated myself.
Yeah. But now you're
Trying
to talk to yourself better.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we all need to do that as a society and as a person. We just all need to, at least if we don't have anything nice to say, at least find something that, you know, you handled that situation so much different than before, or, you know, you made the right choice this time. And, you know, it's always about this time, this moment right now, today. Don't beat yourself up so much about yesterday or the day before, even last year.
I'm trying.
You know, you come a long way.
Yeah, I'm trying.
So it's okay to feel. It's going to be fine.
All right, well, let's talk about this next part.
Okay.
This next
now,
part.
remember what I just said to you, okay?
Yes.
All right. Okay.
I do remember that, but I'm gonna take accountability or be accountable for my action and behavior.
All right.
We recorded an episode called True Crime. Mm-hmm. And just a little bit of backstory. This is not an excuse, but just so folks know why that episode was shitty, is I didn't want to record that episode. I don't have a lot of interest in that topic, and that topic makes me kind of angry. Mm-hmm. But instead of communicating and saying, "Hey, I don't think we should do this episode. I don't feel very comfortable doing it. I think I don't think I can talk about it calmly." Mm-hmm. We went ahead and recorded it anyways. And then we were rushed that week, and I didn't listen back to the episode. I just okayed it and we posted it. Mm-hmm. And then I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Right? We don't have a lot of listeners. We only have one person who comments regularly, and that person had stopped commenting, and I thought, oh, and I'd mentioned this before. I thought we'd lost them, right?
We lost our biggest fan.
Well, they were just waiting to catch up on a show that we had done an episode on because they didn't want spoilers. And now they're back and they're listening again and they're commenting, and they commented on that true crime episode. Oh, that was a tough listen, right? Mm-hmm. It was more like that
was hard to listen.
Was hard to listen to.
Yeah.
So I don't remember the exact thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh? And so I immediately commented, oh no, we're sorry. We'd love to know why so we can do better content. Because I didn't even think for 1 second.
Yeah,
and
but
then I was like,
I took it as like, you know, not everyone likes true crime. And, you know, unless people have, you know, there's varying degrees of why people listen to true crime, like we talked about in that episode.
Sure.
And so some people are very, very opposed, and they are very passionate, and they're hardened to that, and they put up that boundary. Well, I felt like we needed to talk about something, and that, you know, true crime is a huge thing. But for why? That's what I was trying to like communicate and to like maybe talk about or discuss, right? Was like, because I know your side of it and I know my side of it. So if we could discuss it, and then, you know, it would give a different side of things maybe.
Yeah.
But I understand that you don't like it a whole, like when it gets, but when it gets into like really gory kind of a thing, it's very hard for you to listen to. I just wanted to go there.
Yeah, and I said that in the episode. I did not communicate well in the episode. I'm going to get to that, but Yeah, I just said that I find it exploitative of people, and that's why I don't like it. But I didn't say it nicely. This person commented and said, that, and then I commented back, and then I was like, well, maybe I'll just listen to it and see, like, did we say something weird? Because I didn't listen to that episode prior to launching it, so I listened to it back, and almost immediately I understood where his comment was coming from. I was an asshole to you in that episode. Just shitty. Like, it was listening to that, if you know that I didn't like the thing beforehand, you could tell. But even if you didn't know, you could tell. Right? And I wasn't letting you talk. I was cutting you off. I was talking over you. I was being a real piece of shit. And it's not the person I set out to be. But when I get into like a conversation about something that I hate or am passionate about, I can be overbearing in that conversation. I wouldn't classify what that episode was as a conversation. And that's what this podcast is supposed to be, is conversations and stories.
Yeah.
And that episode failed the mark on every level. And it was 100% my fault. And I am super sorry to you, because you don't deserve that. Like, you are a fucking queen, and you do not deserve to be treated that way. So I'm sorry. I am working on that part of myself, and I sometimes don't realize I'm doing it, which maybe this is a great way for me to learn when I'm doing it, right? Like,
exactly.
I am an extremely skeptical person. I'm an extremely cynical person, but I'm also an extremely optimistic person. And those things do not work well together. And so my communication style tends to come from a place of just automatically frustrated.
And absolutes.
I do, yes. If I feel like something is...
You shut it down immediately.
I absolute it, right?
Right.
But if I'm more open about stuff, I don't do that. Which you can hear, like, there's evidence in our podcast that majority of the time I'm very open about stuff, but sometimes I make a decision on something and then that's like, fuck that, that's it.
Right.
And I'm not open to
Which
it, right?
that's not unheard of.
No, but it doesn't excuse my behavior, and I don't want to excuse my behavior. I want our listeners and I want you to know that I'm extremely sorry. It was inappropriate for me to talk to you like that in a conversation. It was inappropriate for me to release that into the world, but it happened for a reason, so I could fix it.
Yeah.
So my goal going forward is to try to make sure that if it's a topic that I feel like that it might go that direction, to be aware of that and either communicate. I don't know if I'm in the right headspace to discuss that this week, or, try to check myself along the way, and then, hopefully not have that outcome again.
Yeah.
Because that's not what I want from this or from us.
Yeah.
Right. And another lesson that I can learn from that is, even when we're not recording, when it's something that starts at frustration, how can I de-escalate so that the conversation happens in a way that's fair to both of us, and not me dominating it because I think faster than you do.
Yeah. Or, that's the cue to take a break and to think and feel before you say something or act in a way that, you don't want to, because we all have that. And it's taken us fucking a million years to be able to talk like that.
25.
Well, it's...
You're way off. Yes.
In a way for us to be at least open enough to go, I know for a fact that he didn't intend to shush me or to talk over me or to prevent me from fully discussing that thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of times reactions have nothing to do with you, and it has to do with that other person. And that's taken me a long time to understand and realize. Yeah. And it's still hurtful and it's still frustrating, but I know you. And I think I understand your point, and I forgive you, and thank you for your apology. But I know where you were coming from, and I know that maybe I pushed it. So if I pushed the topic a little too much, I'm sorry. But I felt like it was relative, and it was something that, because we have such, different opinions and stances on it, that I thought it would be a fun, a quote unquote fun discussion. But it just went a little bit, harsher than I was expecting.
Yeah. And you don't have to apologize for bringing up the topic, because it's not your failing. It's my failing for not saying, I don't think that's a great topic for me to try to have a conversation about, because I wish that thing didn't exist.
Yeah.
And if I wish something doesn't exist, I'm going to have a strong opinion about it, right?
Yeah.
That's just the definition of, right? Like wanting all drugs to be legal. I feel very strongly about that. And so if we have a conversation about that, even though I know you and I agree on that topic, so that might be a better conversation than just me railroading the whole thing. You and I don't agree on the true crime thing very much. So that wasn't a conversation. That was an argument that I was completely dominating.
Yeah.
And in a completely unfair way. And it was not okay in any way, right?
Yeah. I understand. I completely understand.
Well, I appreciate you so much for understanding, but I want you to know that I'm not going to just go, oh, thanks for your forgiveness, and move on and then do it again. I'm going to do my level best to try to respect you whenever we have a conversation about anything.
Yeah.
And if I come in hot, then I need to be able to recognize I'm too hot on this. I gotta pull back the thrusters, right?
Yeah.
That's my responsibility. It's not your responsibility to police me in any way, right? I have to be the one who goes, fuck, what am I doing? I gotta pull back.
Yeah.
That's too far, right?
Yeah.
I do appreciate you so much for being so understanding. And, this is how I know that you're my ride and or die is because when I came to you and I said that I know why he commented that and the episode is awful. I am the hugest asshole. You and Bryce immediately tried to defend me. Well, no, but that's not what you meant. And I was like, it isn't what I meant, but it's what happened, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it doesn't matter if I intended to do a good episode and didn't. That what matters is the outcome, is the impact that it had on you and other people who listened to that episode, whether they commented or not.
Yeah.
Right? Somebody listens to that episode and then they walk away from this podcast and go, that guy's a fucking jackass. I'm never listening to another episode again. Right?
They'll swear it off like I swore off Kroger.
Right. And I hope that doesn't happen. I'm not going to take the episode down. I don't believe in hiding from my mistakes. I'm going to leave it there. I am going to put in
Disclaimer.
the description, hey, we're aware that this is a shitty episode and that we address that in this episode. Go over here to hear more about that. But it's a bad situation. I caused it. It's 100% my fault. I'm very sorry to you. I'm very sorry to our listeners. I'm going to try to fix that behavior and be a better communicator. I mean, that's all I can do to try to make amends for that. So thank you.
Good job. Good on ya.
And I appreciate your defense and your, wanting to stand up for me because,
I'm a stickler. Okay.
Yeah.
I have always had the motto, I don't know, or just that part of me that's like, intention is a major thing. Now, I understand you make a great point because that, whether you intend something or not, there's still an outcome.
Yeah.
But there has to be an acknowledgement of that also.
Yeah.
You can't just go, I didn't intend for that to happen, but then it keeps happening. That's very different than what I mean. What I mean is that, of course, you didn't intend to hurt my feelings.
Right.
Of course, you didn't intend to talk over me or to shut me down in a way. But, you acknowledge that. But I can see the other side of it. I have more of a compassionate thing when it comes to you and our family. So I can get that. I can get behind that. And like, other people's behavior, you can go, well, no wonder they're this way, or no wonder they're reacting this way, because there's something under there. You don't just automatically, be born an asshole. Everyone's born squishy and mushy and adorable to a certain extent.
I agree with you. I do think intention matters. I just don't think that that's the end of it, right? Like
exactly.
You go,
There's
I didn't
further.
intend to do it, so sorry.
Yes.
That's a little bit different than, I'm sorry, that wasn't my intention, and I apologize for the impact. I'm going to try to learn from this and move forward, because that's how you actually grow as a person. You don't grow just by going, well, I didn't mean it.
Yeah.
Sorry, that's not what I meant.
Right. That's not what I meant. And then flippant about it, that's very different. Yeah. But if you go, oh, I didn't intend, right, there has to be more to the conversation, not just the flippant.
Accountability for the impact and the outcome, right? Not just, so sorry that hurt your feelings or whatever. If that
hurt your feelings, right? That whole, that's aggravating. But, I'm with you. I love you. It's fine. It's going to be all right.
I love you too. I appreciate you very much. Yeah. I'm very enamored with you as a person. Oh. And I do respect you. And it didn't come across. None of those things came across in that episode. I'm super embarrassed by that episode. It's a bad one.
I get that.
And I really blew it. I really blew it on that one.
I get that. It was a hard topic. It wasn't like, that's not indicative of your constant, behavior. Yeah. It was a difficult topic. It was a difficult topic to handle.
Yeah. And that's what it needs to, that's how you grow, is that you make sure that doesn't become a pattern of behavior.
Right.
Right. Anyways, I guess that's really all that we have to say about it.
Yeah. I'm hurting, anything? So I gotta be done.
I'm sorry about that.
It's all right. I'll talk about it next week.
Okay. I love you.
I love you too.
Oh. If you enjoyed this episode of the Lou and Me podcast, subscribe on iTunes, YouTube, or Spotify.
And follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Lou and Me Podcast.
Lou and Me is a Matthiasaurus production, produced and edited by Moose. The song is No Carpets by the New Forevers, hosted by Lou and me.
Thanks for listening.